girl cornered me at the grocery store and asked, "Why don't you remember me, Mom?" "I'm sorry, what?" I asked, thinking she'd mistaken me for someone else. Her voice cracked with anger. "Mom, it's me, Emily, your daughter." A strange tingling crept up my spine. "I think you're confused. I don't have any children." She pulled out a birth certificate from her backpack and showed it to me. "I know you're my mother. You gave birth to me on March 15th, 2007. I looked at the paper, and my name was there. I would have been 17 then. I'm 35 now. The math worked, but nothing else did. This has to be fake," I said, though my hands had started trembling. "I've never been pregnant. I think I would have remembered if I gave birth." Emily's voice broke completely. "I've been looking for you for months. I finally found you, and now you're acting like I'm nothing?" I backed away from this strange woman. "Look, I don't know you. I've never seen you before." Her eyes filled with tears of rage. "Just look at me. Everyone says I look exactly like you. How can you stand there and pretend you don't know me?" The resemblance was unsettling, but that didn't mean anything. "I need to leave," I said. "Please don't follow me." I could hear her crying behind me as I abandoned my cart and headed for the door, but I knew there was no way I had a child, because like I said, I'd never been pregnant. The next morning, I went to work trying to ignore what happened yesterday, but Emily was waiting outside my office building. My coworker Brian was with me, and he stopped mid-sentence when he saw her. "Alicia, that girl looks exactly like you," he said quietly. Emily stepped forward, "Because she's my mother. She gave me up for adoption 18 years ago." Brian's eyes widened, looking between us. "Alicia, you never mentioned having a kid." "Because I don't." The words came out too sharp, too desperate. "I've never had a baby. This is insane." Brian frowned, doing the math in his head. "Wait." He looked at me strangely. "Alicia, you disappeared during junior year. Remember? You were gone for like 9 months. Your mom said you were sick." I opened my mouth to explain, but nothing came. I tried to remember junior year and hit a wall of nothing, just blank space where memories should be. "I was sick," I said automatically, but I didn't know what kind of sick. "Sick how?" Emily demanded. "Weren't you pregnant?" "I don't know," I admitted, and the words terrified me. I tried even harder to remember, but all I got in return was a severe headache. "I need time to think," I said. Emily grabbed my arm. "I'm not disappearing. I found your address online. I'll be there tonight whether you answer the door or not." True to her word, Emily knocked on my apartment door at 7 that evening. I sat on my couch, frozen, listening to her persistent knocking that went on for 10 minutes straight. Through the peephole, I could see her determined face, so much like mine it made my stomach turn. But no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't remember being pregnant. I even pulled out my high school yearbook to try and find out, but I had no pictures from junior year. It was like I didn't even exist during the time when this girl said she was born. Eventually, I decided I should help her figure out what happened, so I opened the door. "Emily, look, here's the thing." But then I heard a loud thud. Both of us snapped our heads to the right and saw my mother, who had fallen on the ground in shock. "Oh my God," she muttered, like she'd just seen a ghost. "Are you my grandmother?" Emily asked. My mother stood up with her legs shaking and slowly walked towards us without saying a word, but she was acting so strange that it made me angry. "Mom, why are you here? Is it true that I was pregnant, that I gave birth to this girl? But then why don't I remember anything?" She took my hands in hers and said, "I never thought she'd find you." "Mom, what are you talking about?" My head started to hurt and tears began streaming down my face. My mother continued, "You were 17, sweetheart. You were so scared. The boy had already left town. You begged me to help you." I sank onto her couch, my legs giving out. "No, that's not possible. It's true. You gave birth on March 15th and gave this girl up for adoption," she continued, sobbing. "But then 3 weeks later, as you were driving, a drunk driver hit you head on. Everything in me went cold. You were in a coma for 2 weeks. When you woke up, you didn't remember anything from the past year. The pregnancy, the birth, signing the adoption papers, all of it was gone." She gripped my hands tighter. "I decided to protect you by keeping it a secret, so you could move on." Emily's face had gone white. "Wait, so she actually doesn't remember giving birth to me? She's not just acting?" My mother nodded her head up and down, and I just collapsed.